Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to Epic Deals on Andertons TV. I'm Pete.
I'm Rabea.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at the Blackstar HT pedals.
Yes, we are on an epic deal at Andertons at the moment. There's 4 of them on a deal.
Yep.
They used to be a lot of money.
They did.
And now they are not so much money.
Well,
that's why they're an epic deal. So, we've got a booster, overdrive, distortion.
You tell him.
DistX.
Ooh.
All right, you know, these...
They're chunky. Pop chaps are chunky.
Loads of things that are actually, what are they, valve driven?
They're true valve driven. So that the sort of USP on these pedals in particular is that they have that true valve amp response. And my phone is actually on still. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to aeroplane that thing.
Okay.
So yeah, the Blackstar sort of say these are your true valve amp response pedals. So when you plug one of these in, it's meant to be like a preamp valve pre-section, and it's meant to have the same response and feel and tone of a valve amp.
And you just heard in the beginning there, you heard the boost, and it says here, it says on here, pure valve dynamics on this one, and it's got a bass and a treble, and it's got the boost.
Yep.
And there's 2 modes. We were running it output, so you got 2 outputs. You got a high output and a low output. So we were running it in the low output into the Marshall.
Oh, so you'll get in the high output, you'll get even more bite.
Probably, which we're gonna try right now because that is why we're here. Anyway, so the pedals are now. I'm just gonna look up here my notes, and you've got this is $74.99. That's $74.99 the overdrive, and then you got the other 2. The distortion ones are $84.99.
Yep.
For these 2, and they are 22 volts DC. So it takes a lot of power to run tubes, and it's quite a substantial thing.
Yeah.
It really there's a lot here.
It's going to add considerable weight to your pedal board.
Exactly, and well, it will. But you just get somebody else to carry it for you.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. They all come with power supplies.
Yep.
And some of them here has got emulated out. Actually, the only one that doesn't have the emulated out is the boost. So the other ones you can plug straight into your interface and use it as a...
And I'm guessing that's because with a boost, you're supposed to use it to boost the front end of an amp, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or, boost your solos if you put it in a loop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense to have an emulated line out on a boost. But the rest, yeah, of course, because it's like a preamp section.
You can have this on your desk next to your laptop into your interface, and use it as that. I think that would be cool. It's got the ISF.
Oh, so you can
infinity
infinite shape feature or function. I believe.
So basically, you go from like British to American type thing.
Yeah.
And that the 2 distortion pedal has got that. The other 2 are just gain, tone, level on this one, and this one bass, treble, and boost.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just. You are on a PRS.
The Mira.
Mira.
This is the vintage tobacco burst.
And some humbuckers.
Yeah, and we're running the JTM45 Mark II and the Fender Bassbreaker, not at the same time, although we can do.
We can do.
But
we might do. But let's see what happens. Let's try first. So I'm just going to switch it off, and we are in the low output now. So you just get a clean tone for the Marshall. And I set everything on 12, and I'll turn it on. Okay, so let's just swap over to the high output, and I've got these really cool, the Dario American series cables here.
Yeah, so you can do the whole circuit breaker thing.
Exactly. Thanks for those, and because then we are using them for everything now. And they're really cool. So let's. I'm gonna swap around and then see.
That's great.
Isn't that cool? I can float in here.
Effective.
Effective. There you
go.
Now
in the high input, right?
Now in high input. So this is the clean straight out. Here you go. What? Wow. It's not peaking. It's fine. But let's go back to the other one. See again, clever. I love it. Okay, and high output. I'm not touching the buttons at the moment. I'm literally just. Wow, that's really cool, and that's absolutely. Let's see. I'm just gonna have a little bit of coffee, so that then I can see when you play.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna boost it up and high input to see how far we can get to without it peaking out. Okay.
Ready? Here we go. that is some serious power.
Headroom, there's headroom in that one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there really is.
Okay, so let me just swap it over to the Fender Bassbreaker.
Bassbreaker, Bassbreaker.
Okay, so here we go. Here we go. There you go. Now that sounds great to me.
It really does.
Really good. So okay, so let's move on.
Yeah. Well, that's the boost.
Yeah, that's the boost. We got 3 more to go through. So let's quickly speed up by the magic of
FCP.
exactly FCB. Hey, we'll change the pedals over like this. You ready? There we go, back in. And now I'm going to play because I've got this Sterling By Musicman Cutlass. Yeah, it's a Cutlass. Great looking guitar. And
It's got a vibe.
it's got a good vibe. It's got one of these vibes. Anyway, oh, what would you do?
So that's the clean tone mix of all the amps.
So the mix of all the amps, yeah. So let's try to turn this guy on 12 o'clock.
I'm going to play with it. I'm going to play with controls.
And we are the Marshall.
Play again.
Woo!
What a difference, right? So
Wow.
we'll do Fender. Do Fender.
That was a Marshall. It's a clean on the Fender. Okay.
Everything's at 12. Wow. Fair play. No, that sounds great. And
That's really cool. Let's just quickly try that on the with you.
with the PRS.
Yeah, let's do that.
Slightly higher output pickups.
Yeah.
Right. So we're back in the Marshall, right?
Yeah. Okay, everything on 12 o'clock, watching the volumes, and...
That's a lot of low end.
So I was just trying to do, so I put the gain down completely and using the level as a boost. And I've put the tone up quite high to get rid of that, some of that low end. Try again. Massive headroom.
Yeah.
Massive headroom in that pedal.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Should we try in the Fender?
Yeah, let's go to Fender. Clean tone. It's funny because they sound good.
Yeah.
But this just adds it adds that sort of preamp on top of it, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, everything back on 12 o'clocks.
Yep. was a bit scruffy.
Cool. Well, that's the HT Drive Pure Valve Overdrive.
It's definitely got some great quality sounds in there, and I think, like Pete keeps saying, the headroom is really quite impressive because we're not got the amps in very loud. I mean, literally, that's how loud it is. It's not very loud, and then when you push that, I mean, and that, because there's a very, very, very mild amount of gain in the amp, and when you blend something like this into that preamp section, suddenly you're going to get so much sustain and gain. So
yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Great. Nice. I like it. Good. And that is $74.99.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
both those, the Boost and the Crunch, $74.99.
And again, the emulated out, which you can then take and put into your interface and record at home and get some good tone.
But what's going to happen now is we're going to click our fingers, and there's going to be a new pedal in the room again. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, voila!
I mean,
voila.
It's magic.
Voila!
Man.
It is magic.
I think Pete secretly studied at Hogwarts alongside Hazard. Bit of Hazard, bit of Ron. Had an affair with Hermione.
Hello!
Yeah. Anyway,
I put my invisibility cloak on and
did
snuck around.
I think Pete with an invisibility cloak would be a dangerous thing.
I think it would.
Yeah.
Actually, you just wouldn't know where. Well, anyway.
Right.
I really like one of those though.
It would be great.
So you just having this really, and you put it over your guitar as well, and you just over your amp and your guitar and everything. Just stand in the corner and then riff away.
Cheeky
People
licks in a really inappropriate place.
Where's that happening? Who was that playing? That would be a good thing.
That would be great.
And that would of course be one of the things you'd be using it for.
But we digress.
Yeah. So we're talking. HT Distortion.
Yeah.
Pure valve distortion here, and
So-
I think this is more your territory.
Well,
Territory.
it's high gain, I guess, and we're bumping up the price now to $84.99 for this, and also for the Distortion X, which is probably the metal version of this pedal. But we're on the HT Distortion. So
and it looks really cool because you got the little tube in here, which is cool. Let's just see. So we go back to the Marshalls, and you're on a PRS again.
Yep.
With the humbugs. 12 o'clock. Ready? And again, that massive headroom. I'm just going to leave the level where it is now. First, I'm going to start with the gain. You got gain, bass, middle, treble, and then your infinitive shape feed function. So I'll start with the gain.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so and I'm just going to start with the infinity shape, control shape function. And we started that at 0 and it goes up to 10.
Okay.
It gives you that scoop sound, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if we set that at 0 and we do bass and treble like that. Try this.
Okay. Yeah, it's all about that kind of. You can get a real thrash metal tone out of that. Yeah, it's interesting that when you scoop the mids, because the ISF, obviously, if you imagine on a frequency spectrum, you'd have a sort of little bell curve where it's moving around on the mid range, and essentially when you dial out all the mids or dial in all the mids, it'll really exaggerate what that does.
Yeah. So there you go. As it is there, let's just go into the Fender.
The Fender. In fairness,
Holy smokes!
if you do have the luxury of 2 amplifiers and an ABY, then you can put both amps in with a pedal like that, and that's really quite cool.
Yeah. My goodness.
Metal.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's move on to the next one, which says on it, Pure Valve Filth.
Pure Valve Filth.
Exactly. Let's do it. Ready?
Okay.
Here we are.
We are again.
And here we got some Pure Valve
Filth.
Filth. Now, I'm going to put this guitar down because I think this will probably lean more to the humbuckers and stuff like that. I might say that, but it might actually be your thing with the single coil Stratty type.
Well, you never know. High gain on Strats, you know, Ingve did it, but anyway.
Exactly. Well, we might try that. Anyway, let's see. So, I'm just going to, here's the clean tone in the Marshall.
Okay.
Clean tone in the Marshall, and... That's actually a pretty good overdrive tone.
Yeah.
We'll try it again. That's just
quite
with
good.
That's with the gain really kind of down just over 0, like 1 or something.
So it's got buckets of gain in it.
Again, it's loads of gain and again
Yeah.
loads and loads of headroom. Of course, you've got this power supply and it creates 300 watts inside the pedal to give you that sort of headroom, which is that's what it says anyway. So it's a valve. I would call them a preamp really.
It is
preamp pedal.
Yeah, particularly because they've got the emulated line out, so you can just use this at home into your interface.
Yeah.
What I do personally like about pedals like this is when you blend them with an amplifier, and for the most part, as long as you dial in a little bit of crunch on your amp, just a little bit, you'll get some really good results out of pedals like this.
Yeah, you can put in we're just using 2 kind of garden amps. What do you call it?
Yeah,
household amps. Well, a Marshall and a Fender.
Yeah, you're obviously common.
You might have had a Blackstar amp you can plug it into. We just thought we'll try it on something else.
Yeah, and I mean they're
flavour.
both relatively clean. They're dialed in really clean.
Yeah, they're dialed in clean.
Should we chuck this into the Fender? We haven't tried it with the Fender yet.
Oh yes, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Just do it. Clean tone on the Fender. So Marshall, this was the Marshall tone. That's the Fender tone.
Wow.
That's a lot of gain in there, isn't it?
It's fierce,
Okay, hang on. Let's just try this.
Yeah. Yes, single coilage.
It's in coilage. See what happens. Now, so back to the Marshall. No, hang on.
There you go.
Hey, now back to the Marshall. I tried, it didn't really work.
Pete shreds. For all those that thought Pete was just the peaceful blues player, that's
There was a few sweeps there. There was a few sweeps.
There was. That was tasty.
It's kind of that. It happens, doesn't it?
It brings him out. I think that's why Pete never plays through a high gain sound, because it brings out the inner shred demon.
Wearing the red devil shirt and the red, it's like that happens. Anyway, so those are the Blackstar HT pedals.
Yeah.
On an epic deal in Andertons Now while stock lasts.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought they sounded absolutely wicked in the room. Hopefully, they sounded great to you guys at home.
Exactly.
But yeah, try them out. Buy one.
It's a lot. It's a lot of pedal for the money.
It is.
Really a lot of pedal for the money. And again, don't forget the emulated out, and you can have this at home. Plug it into your interface. And
more flexible than your average drive pedals and boost pedals.
Yeah, I like this infinity shape function.
Yeah,
cool thing.
A lot of tone shapage.
That's it. Links are below. And this was Epic Deals with Rabea.
Yeah, me.
And me, Pete. We'll see you next time on Andertons TV.
Peace out.
Okay, so let's... Sorry. Okay. Oh, hang on. This guitar. Oh. Hey!